Hello and welcome to Journalism Classics with Ali Hakim. In this episode, I shall be speaking about idiomatic expressions found in mainstream and social media space, some of which are actually wrong usage. Kindly remember to like, comment on this and other episodes of Journalism Classics and share them across social media platforms. What are idioms? The Oxford Advanced English Learners Dictionary defines idioms as a group of words whose meaning is different from the meanings of the individual words. While the use of idioms is somewhat not encouraged in hard copy stories and must be used sparingly if unavoidable, they are tolerable in feature articles and sports writing where reporters and editors are at liberty to use flowery language and expressions. Columnists are also at liberty to use idiomatic expressions to drive home their points. The Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary gave the example of an idiom as "let the cat out of the bag" to mean to tell a secret by mistake. Going by this definition, it becomes obvious that it is not totally appropriate to use idiomatic expressions in hard copy news writing, as news writing itself is a deliberate exercise as opposed to letting out secrets by mistake. When a news copy lets out a secret, it is not done by mistake. It is done by deliberate action. As a reporter, you cannot use this idiom in your copy where you must expressly attribute many of the paragraphs in the copy to sources. For example, a hard copy will read something like, Mr. A told the tribunal that the secretary, a prosecution witness, let out the secret by mistake during investigation. The copy cannot read that the secretary, a prosecution witness, let the cat out of the bag, as this has no attribution. And the reporter will need to explain how he or she established this. Besides, such sentence will make the copy to become clumsy. Another idiomatic expression in common usage is "let us see who will bail the cat." This, like many other idioms, is not useful in news writing, but one still finds it in copies once in a while. There's a story behind the idiomatic expression. Anyway, legend has it that a group of mice gathered to discuss how to escape from a praying cat that had always terminated their lives. The meeting between these mice concluded that a bell needed to be hung on the neck of the cat so that when the assailant approaches, they would hear the bell jingle and flee from that scene. So they needed a volunteer amongst them to hang the bell on the cat, a dangerous and life-threatening assignment to be discharged on behalf of the group of mice. So, people using this idiom should realize that belling the cat is euphemism for undertaking a dangerous assignment and not for use for socials, as in who will first take to the dance floor. Let me give another example why idiomatic expressions are a no-no in news writing. In reporting a peaceful protest by labor, for example, it is not good to state that the workers were up in arms against government for its refusal to implement wage increases agreed to during negotiations with labor. To be up in arms means to protest angrily. It is better to report in simple terms that the workers went on a protest march. Note that usually workers do not carry dangerous weapons when they embark on protests, and the impression should not be created that they did. Another idiomatic expression that is out of place in news writing is the long arm of the law caught up with the criminals. Why not just write that security operatives arrested the criminals? As a reporter, you are not in the position to determine whether the arm of the law is long or is short. Your job is to present facts in the simplest of forms, comprehensible by the man on the street without looking for a dictionary. Incidentally, many people have changed English expressions from the British Standard English either through ignorance or through lack of knowledge, or maybe over time the adaptation, let me put it that way, has become accepted as the norm. Some even argue that language is dynamic and changes from time to time. They are partially correct, but that argument is not sacrosanct. Let us take an example of an idiom commonly used when we speak about people who are of similar character or who act in the same manner in particular situations. We often hear there are people, they are birds of the same feather. This is wrong. The correct expression is birds of a feather. Birds of the same feather is wrong because each bird has its own feather or feathers. So two birds or more cannot flock using, or they cannot fly using the same feather all at once. Birds of a feather connotes that they have the same features or characteristics, which was what that expression was meant to say. We have also heard an idiom like more grease to your elbow, used to commend someone who has done well. This also is wrong usage. The correct usage is more power or more strength to your elbow, as the fellow we are commending did not use grease on his or her elbow to achieve whatever we are commending him or her for. That person must have either used strength or brain power to achieve whatever we are commending him over. Yet another wrongly used idiom is what is good for the goose is good for the gander. The correct usage is what is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. It is not unexpected that the use of idioms is not commonplace in hard copy reports because they do not have the same effect as saying it as it is and directly to the point without using idiomatic expressions. While a flowery report could read something like, the carnival was staged under the aegis of ABC Company in collaboration with the state government. But why not just write that the carnival was organized by ABC Company in collaboration with the state government? Know that aegis, AEGIS, actually means with support or backing of someone or some organization. Support is not the same as being the principal organizer of an event. So the use of ages will sound like misinformation in that copy. God willing, I shall be this way again next Sunday. Kindly remember to like, comment on this and other episodes of Journalism Classics and share them across social media platforms. Thank you. Bye for now.